But we had a bloke come in the pub a fortnight ago with a bloody monkey, the bastard. He went along the bar, he ate everybody's peanuts, crisps, the bastard ate everything. Then he got up on the pool table and ate the white ball. The bastard. I said, get that bloody monkey out, I don't want to see that bastard here again. Well, he came in again yesterday. I said, I told you not to bring that monkey in. He said, he'll be all right. He's a reformed character. Well, he jumped up on the bar again, he took a peanut, stuck it up his ass, and he ate it. I said, why did he do that? He said, ever since that white ball, he's measured everything. But Denzil went in the pub in Truro, and he's a bloody nuisance. And they threw Denzil out, and he said, no more for you, you're pissed, now get out. Threw Denzil out the pub. Well, one more in a few minutes, he came in the side door, and he walked straight up to the barman, and he said, I'll have a pint of beer, please. He said, just throwed you out, you twat. He said, no more beer for you, you're pissed, and you're a bloody nuisance, now get out. Well, he threw the bucket out again, he came in the other side door. He said, I'll have a pint of beer, please. He said, you've been thrown out twice. He said, no beer, now get out. Will he throw him out again? He said, once more, I'll call the police. Will he come in the back door the third time? He said, could I have a pint of beer? He said, I've thrown you out 3 times. He said, hang on, mate. He said, how many different bloody pubs do you work in? But I was walking through the Bournemouth there, and the little boy lost, and I said, are you lost? He said, I am. I said, who are you looking for? He said, I'm looking for my daddy. I said, what's your daddy like? He says, big tits and whiskey. But I went to a brothel today in Wimborne. That's where I saw you, wasn't it? But I said, I'm looking for a woman with very, very sloppy tits, that smells bad, that got hair under her armpits, and is ugly, and she tells lies. He said, are you kinky? I said, no, I'm homesick. Well, I had a very deprived childhood. Thank you, madam. When I was only a young boy, my parents saved up and bought me a bike for Christmas, and I was so excited. And I had to stay in and watch the Queen's speech on Christmas afternoon, and then in the evening I took my new bike out for a ride, and I got down by the traffic lights, and there was a policeman on a horse. And he said, did you have your bike from Father Christmas Sunday? I said, yes, I did, officer. Well, he said, next time ask Father Christmas, put a little light on the back. If you haven't got any lights, and he give me a bloody ticket. Christmas Day. I said, did Father Christmas bring you your horse, officer? He said, yes, he did. I said, well, next time, tell him to put a prick on the bottom, not on the top.